Hello there, my name is Lawrence, and I make these videos to just kind of brainstorm my own ideas. They say the best way to learn something is by teaching someone else. So that's what I want to do with these videos. I just want to kind of brain dump everything out there which I'm thinking about. I look at this, first of all, I try to create a bit more context. What is a company? What does a company do? Well, a company is basically a way of helping other people create more leverage. Look at a company. A company is a means of conveying leverage. So just to give a bit of a more perspective on this, some of the biggest companies we know today are only 50, 60, even 30 years old. If you look at Apple, Apple is 50 years old, but it's just to kind of give a broader view over the world of saying, we look at these companies as if it's impossible to build something like this. But if you truly focus on something your whole life and you have a mission, I think it's very doable to make something that will last and that will be remembered, like Apple or Tesla or nvidia. Nvidia is only 33 years old. So it's very possible to create these very complex, very intrinsic, very difficult companies if you just focus on the mission. That's kind of my mindset, at least. So also how we should look at AI as a whole. So if we go back a little bit, the Industrial Revolution started about around 1760. And I would divide it into sort of two classes, basically. You had the management class, which were the feudals, the management class were the lords, the knights, and they were watching over the peasants, so to say. So the peasants used to working on the farm, working in factories, but everything was very manual. So they would have to work with their hands quite a lot. So these are two layers. And then what happened is in the Industrial Revolution, we created a third layer, which was the machines. So all of a sudden, instead of doing something with your hands, like making furniture, you could just have a machine and you just have to operate the machine, which would increase your output by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times more than just doing it with your hands. And so you had the people who manage the machines, the people who manage these people, and then you have the bosses of the company. So it created an extra layer within our economy, I would say. This is so I think the AI revolution is kind of similar. So what really happened here is that we just created a way of creating more leverage for people by automating their work as efficiently as possible. And the AI revolution is the same. So we still have the management class, we still have people operating the machines, we still have managers. And so with people operating the machines, I mean it in a very broad sense, about as broad as you can imagine. So machines are everything which gets you from point A to point B. And this can be, you have a pile of bricks in Dubai, and this eventually makes a house in Belgium, for example. These 2 points, these logistics points connect in order to create, so this could be someone working on the farm who also uses a lot of equipment, someone making a house who also uses a lot of equipment in order to do this more efficiently. And so I look at this as the base layer of the economy. These are the people who build our houses, these are the people who make everything work, and they use these different tools. So what I think is going to happen is AI is going to create a different layer beneath those people. So the first thing that AI is going to automate with these different robots, which everyone is trying to make, especially in China. Elon Musk is also busy with Optimus and stuff. They're going to try to automate every single bit of the base layer of the economy. So instead of someone manually having to chuck bricks to build a house, they're going to make it so that you have a robot doing this. A robot can work 24/7. So what this means is that the output will be times 10. Instead of having 10 people build a house, you can just get 10 robots who are the best house builders in the world. They're programmed to build the best house builders in the world. And they can do this in 1/10 of the speed because they work day and night. They don't get tired. They don't need breaks. They're much stronger, etc., etc. So this doesn't mean that the people who traditionally built these houses will go away. This means that the people who were here, which were doing this manually, will have to watch over a set of robots who are doing this for them. Same way that they would operate a machine. So it used to be with a horse in a carriage. So this is the same way that they would use a horse in the carriage in order to get bricks from one side to another. Now they're using a truck to do it. It's the same way. So they would just use these AI robots to help them make it more efficient and get more leverage out of it. And that's what I think is going to happen. Now, because this change is so big, this means that the economy can go times 10 or times 20 times 30. We don't know, because when you replace the whole base of the economy with a bunch of different robots, The only question of scalability is how many robots can a company buy and what's the demand in the market. So this is going to increase by such a huge amount the economy in the next 10, 20, 30 years that this is going to be something which we could call a real AI revolution. So when I say what is it worth to start an AI company in 2026? I think there are two different paths which will be the most efficient and the best ones to go into if you're watching this right now. So in my opinion, what is going to be the biggest, how can you position your life so that you have the biggest possible impact within the future of the economy and in the world? I think it's going to be two different paths. First, we're going to be working on the AI models, which is behind every single infrastructure, which is Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, these different models, which are the building blocks on everything else that's going to be built. This is kind of the layer behind the layer, I would say, the layer. So this would be being an AI engineer working in these companies, optimizing it for safety, optimizing it for efficiency, etc., etc. Now the second thing, which I'm a bit more interested in honestly, is manufacturing. So as I went into here, the base of the pyramid is all about optimization of these very still very manual jobs, which robots weren't able to be automated too much for because humans are just very efficient. Elon Musk says this himself. Elon Musk in one of his companies says that they had doing a napkin robot, and they had to just shut it off the factory because it was slowing down production by X amount of minutes. I mean, you have one robot slowing down the whole. So that's what I think is going to happen. So I think manufacturing, if you can create a company that is able to optimize a manufacturing process by even 1%, by implementing certain AI infrastructure, AI tools, AI robots, in order to make it just 1% more efficient, even just 1%, you will be able to save companies a whole lot. So this is compound interest, 1% here, 1% here, 1% here. Eventually it's gonna 2x, 3x the whole production line. So just to give you an example of this, Apple creates 257 million iPhones a year. If you are very proficient in AI and you're able to create a system or an AI tool that's able to optimize this by even 1%, that you save 1% of the time by implementing, you would be able to save 2,517 million iPhones worth of production time saved per year, which is immense, which is quite immense. So, if it takes about 30 minutes to make an iPhone, you save 1% of this. This is 18 seconds. Total of 251.7 million iPhones a year, you would save 1.26 million hours. This is really what's going to make the change within the economy. Creating these systems which are able to optimize manufacturing processes by even 1% in order to make the people who work these jobs, to make it more efficient so that they can manage more people. Now, of course, this and this goes very much hand in hand. So you could I also like to say, selling shovels. The best way to get rich is by selling shovels. So it's not just about helping people optimize, it's also about telling people how they can optimize other things. So, you could very well make an AI model, which is then able to, it's like a kind of a cursor Claude combination, which is then able to create some software which can help people make the manufacturing tools or ideas even faster. So that's kind of selling shovels. So this also goes very much into this. Yeah. So if you, for example, you have a guy who's an manufacturing engineer, and you are an AI engineer, and you make an AI model and SaaS, which is able to help him roll his ideas out much faster and create the software to actually create these different parts so that he can help optimize production line even 1% faster, then this is selling shovels, and this will also be very, very handy in the future. But personally, I think this is going to be the future. AI manufacturing optimization. And so another thing I want to mention is that a lot of people, there's a word that says do. It's a pretty funny word. There is a philosophy that says AI is going to destroy everything, AI is going to make this and this and this. Now, if you were to live in the Industrial Revolution, and you'd have to go to the factory every day, and you'd have to, with your hands, work certain machines, which are very dangerous, and someone came along and said, hey, I want to automate this for you, I don't think you would mind too much. And I think it's going to be quite similar with the AI revolution. The more that gets automated, the more that people actually be able to spend more time on things they actually love doing. This is a very good quote I read not too long ago, which said, I want the AI to help me build the house so that I can work on the art. I don't want the AI to make the art for me so that I can work on my house and do my own laundry. And I think this is kind of the mindset shift. You know, the more these very manual tasks get taken over, the more we as a species can focus on things that are more meaningful to us, like spending time with our family. It's not logical for us to spend 30 years working for a house when our grandparents had to do this, had to work 2 years for it, 2 years to buy a house. And so I think AI is going to make this process much better and beneficial for all of us. So what is the doom scenario? So what is the scenario here that says like, okay, AI is going to destroy everything? What philosophy? So this is my philosophy. I think in the future, it's inevitable that we will become a spacefaring civilization. It's inevitable. And so when we do become a spacefaring civilization, these spaceships and these technologies will be so complicated, so advanced, that there is no possible way for humans to develop this on their own. This would take us hundreds of thousands of years, best minds on the planets, you know, it's not possible. We need AI to be able to manage these spaceships and to be able to help create them and to be able to help automate this in order that we can create a lot more of these different pyramid structures, bottom layers of the pyramids, so that we become a much cooler civilization. And that's kind of how I look at this. It's, you know, it is you cannot have 100 people build a spaceship because something will go wrong. If you have 100 AIs that are managed by 100 AIs that are managed by 100 people who are very intelligent, you would be able to manage enough leverage in order to actually create and manage and do something like this. So that's how I look at this. AI can go different ways. AI can go a very bad way, which everyone has heard about, everyone knows. It's a 1984 scenario, you know, this way. But AI can also go into the other ways. It's like a way of making a civilization that is a spacefaring civilization and that is just a very beautiful. So same thing with AI. When a technology is introduced within a society, the society cannot live without. People cannot live without their phones, because then the fear would be, if I don't have a phone, my competitor is going to be taking over more clients from me because he can just work more efficiently. The same thing is with AI. If you don't have AI and your competitor has AI, your competitor is going to steal all your clients because it just can work at an output of 10 times more because it has 10 times more leverage. So the same thing applies here. So that's how I look at AI. I think AI is going to be a new base layer of the economy, which will automate a lot of jobs so people can spend more time doing things that they actually love doing. Of course, if you look at the Industrial Revolution, there were some people who lost their jobs, but eventually these people just got into the second position, just started managing the machines who replaced them in the beginning. Same thing will happen here. It's not going to be a lack of manpower. You know, there's always going to be people who are going to have to manage the machines, who operate the machines. So I mean the AIs operated the mechanical engineers, the mechanical machines, because there has to be a layer of accountability. People cannot hold an AI accountable. People can only hold a person accountable. So if you say, I want to have this house built, and you have some of the smartest AIs in the world and they say, okay, you know, I'm going to give this task to you. There has to be a human connection there, because otherwise, if the AI does it wrong, you cannot say, okay, the AI can go to jail for, you know, fraud. That's not possible. There's always a human aspect that has to be accountable. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. That's my personal opinion. I'm just sharing my thoughts here. Let me know if you know this as one viewer. I would love to have one comment just to be able to kind of have a small discussion.